Are you searching for stillness in a chaotic world? You're not the first, and certainly not the last, person to feel this longing. In a world that never stops moving, where each day is packed with endless notifications, unfinished conversations, and mounting expectations, we slowly begin to lose touch with ourselves. There are mornings when you wake up feeling exhausted, even after what should have been a full night's sleep. There are afternoons when you feel an empty ache in your chest for no clear reason. And there are moments, perhaps in the middle of a noisy crowd, when you quietly crave one thing: silence. A space where no one is asking anything of you, not even you. Some believe that stillness is a luxury only for those who leave the world behind, heading off to mountaintops or monasteries. But the truth is, stillness doesn't exist out there somewhere. It lives within us. And if you know how to return to it, you can touch it anytime, whether you're sitting in traffic or alone in a cramped room. Vipassana, an ancient form of meditation practiced and taught by the Buddha, is a pathway back to that quiet place. Back to yourself. Vipassana isn't about relaxation. It's about truth. Many people try meditation to manage stress, calm their emotions, or sleep better. And while those benefits often come, they're just side effects. Not the goal. Vipassana, which means to see clearly or insightful observation, is a method that helps you see the truth of your inner experience, moment by moment. You don't need to believe in anything. You don't need to follow a religion. You don't need to become someone else. You only need the courage to look directly at yourself, honestly and without filters. No sugarcoating. No avoiding. No escaping. Why is our mind so restless? It's not because the world is too loud. It's because our minds haven't learned to be still. It's not the chaos outside, it's the constant reactions inside. When discomfort arises, we immediately want to push it away. When pleasure shows up, we instantly try to hold on to it. A random thought appears, and suddenly, it hijacks our entire day. This ongoing reaction is the root of our unease. Vipassana teaches us how to observe this process without reacting. No judgment. No suppression. Just clear, quiet seeing. It starts with the breath, coming home to the present. In Vipassana, you don't imagine anything special. You don't aim for blissful states or visualize light. You simply watch the breath, this most basic, most overlooked gift of being alive. Breathing in, breathing out. No control. No expectation. No frustration when your mind wanders. Over time, you start to notice how your mind behaves. You see how it jumps, spins, obsesses, worries, criticizes. And here's the beautiful part, just seeing it begins to change it. Observing the body, learning to live with sensation. As your awareness deepens, Vipassana takes you further. You begin to observe physical sensations in the body. Tingling, warmth, tightness, numbness. Pressure, pain, ease. So many sensations, constantly appearing and disappearing. Normally, when something feels unpleasant, we move. When something feels good, we cling. Vipassana invites us to stay still, and just watch. That silent witnessing, free of reaction, is the doorway to inner freedom. Nothing lasts forever, not even pain. One of the most powerful truths Vipassana helps us realize is this: everything is impermanent. No sensation lasts. No emotion endures forever. No thought defines who you are. When you see this, not just intellectually, but through direct experience in meditation, your mind begins to let go. You stop clinging to what feels good. You stop fighting what feels hard. You stop believing that you have to be in control all the time. And as the mind releases, peace arises. You don't need to become anyone else, just return to who you already are. Vipassana doesn't ask you to be more spiritual, more successful, or more holy. It doesn't demand chanting, rituals, or beliefs. It simply asks, Sit down. Watch closely. And be radically honest with what you find. That's all. And somehow, that's everything. Because in that honesty, that quiet attention, you begin to touch a truth deeper than words. Maybe the stillness you're searching for, the calm inside the storm, isn't something you need to chase or achieve. Maybe it's always been there. Maybe it's just waiting for you to slow down, sit quietly, and finally listen. Vipassana doesn't give you peace. It helps clear away everything that's blocking the peace that was already within you. What is Vipassana? Among all the many forms of meditation and inner practices, Vipassana stands out as a path back to what is real, without decoration, without projection, without filters. It's not a method to reach some special state, nor is it a way to escape suffering. Vipassana is the art of seeing things as they truly are. The word Vipassana, in Pali, can be translated simply as deep observation or clear insight. But this seeing doesn't happen with the eyes, it happens with mindful awareness, with a deep and steady presence. When practicing Vipassana, we turn inward and observe the body, thoughts, emotions, and all mental phenomena, not with judgment or control, but simply with clarity and honesty. Vipassana versus other types of meditation. To better understand Vipassana, it helps to compare it with other common meditation practices. Concentration meditation, samatha, trains the mind to focus on a single object, such as the breath, a candle flame, or a mantra. Its aim is to calm the mind, reduce mental distractions, and enter a tranquil, unified state. The goal is to cultivate deep concentration. Vipassana, on the other hand, doesn't limit awareness to just one point. After building a basic level of calm and focus, the practitioner begins to expand awareness to observe everything happening in the body and mind, sensations, emotions, thoughts, as they arise. The aim of Vipassana is not to control these experiences, but to see clearly that everything is impermanent, constantly changing, and not truly me or mine. Why practice Vipassana? Because most of us go through life without really knowing what's going on inside us. A wave of anger comes up, we react. Fear shows up, we avoid. A painful memory surfaces, we believe it defines us. We're constantly being driven by unconscious patterns and hidden emotions. Vipassana shines a light on those patterns. It helps us recognize, oh, here's an emotion arising. Or, this is a thought passing through. Or, here comes that old desire again. And all of it, pleasant or painful, is seen for what it is, a temporary process, not a permanent identity. They come. They stay for a while. And then they go. They're not under our full control. They're not who we are. Vipassana means observing, without reacting. One of the most powerful aspects of Vipassana is this. You don't have to do anything. Just see clearly. Imagine you're sitting in meditation and a sharp pain appears in your leg. Normally, your first instinct would be to shift or try to make it go away. But with Vipassana, you practice not reacting. You simply notice the pain, the tension, the heat, the pulsing, as something that is present in your field of awareness. You are not the pain. You don't need to fix it or run from it. You just observe it, exactly as it is. And something surprising happens, the pain often softens. Maybe not physically. But its power over you lessens, because you're no longer feeding it with fear or resistance. That's the power of non-reaction. That's how Vipassana breaks the chain of suffering. No belief required, just direct experience. One of the most beautiful things about Vipassana is this: you don't have to believe in anything. No dogma, no blind faith, no spiritual identity required. The Buddha himself said, "Do not believe anything just because I said it. See it for yourself." Vipassana is a practice of direct experience. You don't sit and try to imagine peace. You don't try to reach a mystical state. Instead, you become radically honest with yourself. You watch closely, moment to moment, as the truth of your inner world unfolds. And in that space of clear seeing, you start to realize. Emotions, no matter how overwhelming, will pass. Thoughts, no matter how convincing, are just movements of mind. You don't have to identify with everything that arises within you. This is inner freedom. And no one can give it to you, or take it away. Vipassana doesn't take you away from life, it brings you deeper into it. Some people think meditation is about escaping the world. But Vipassana is not about escaping. It's about meeting life more clearly, more deeply, more truthfully. When you wash the dishes, you feel the water on your hands. When you speak, you're aware of your tone, your emotions. When pain arises, you don't run, you observe, and understand. Vipassana isn't just a meditation technique. It's a way of living. A way of being present, in every moment. With an open and honest heart. Final thoughts. If you're searching for a practice that helps you truly understand yourself, without requiring belief, without forcing control, Vipassana offers a powerful path. A path where every breath is a teacher. Every sensation is a lesson. And every moment is an invitation to wake up. The origin and purpose of Vipassana. In a world that grows louder and more complicated each day, many people turn to meditation as a way to find peace, to heal, or simply to catch their breath. But if we trace meditation back to its roots, we'll find that Vipassana isn't just a tool for relaxation. It's a path to liberation. An ancient technique that was once forgotten and later rediscovered, not to decorate our spiritual lives, but to cut through suffering at its root. An ancient practice rediscovered by the Buddha. Vipassana is a method of observing reality as it is, directly and without judgment. While forms of it existed before the Buddha. It was during his own deep meditation, more than 2,500 years ago, that he rediscovered and refined Vipassana as a path to full awakening. Sitting beneath the Bodhi tree. The Buddha didn't achieve enlightenment by intellectual study or borrowed knowledge. He sat in silence with his pain, his attachments, his illusions. And he looked deeply into them. Not with resistance, but with profound awareness. What he realized was simple yet revolutionary: everything is impermanent, there is no fixed self, and therefore, nothing is worth clinging to. Vipassana was not born from theory. It arose from direct insight, a truth seen and lived by one who walked through suffering and found a way beyond. Not an escape from suffering. Many come to meditation hoping to escape stress or sadness, or to calm their anxious thoughts. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if we stop there, we only touch the surface. Vipassana's true aim is not to temporarily ease discomfort, but to understand the nature of that discomfort, and be free from it. Pain doesn't disappear just because we ignore it. It dissolves when we face it with clarity. Vipassana doesn't ask us to avoid suffering, it invites us to meet it, without fear or judgment. Until we see it for what it really is, a passing phenomenon. One that no longer has power to bind us. But a path to see the root, and let go. The Buddha taught four noble truths: there is suffering. There is a cause of suffering. There is an end to suffering. And there is a path leading to that end. Vipassana is that path, a direct way to examine the root of our inner turmoil. Instead of treating symptoms, soothing a mood, suppressing a thought, Vipassana leads us deeper. It brings us face to face with the exact moment where reaction is born. In that moment, if we simply observe, without clinging or pushing away, we dissolve the chains of habit. Little by little, we stop being driven by craving and aversion. We respond, rather than react. We see clearly, rather than judge blindly. We begin to experience a freedom that is not external, but internal and unshakable. A universal practice beyond religion. Though rooted in Buddhist teachings, Vipassana is not bound to any religion. It doesn't ask you to believe in a deity, adopt a philosophy, or accept any dogma. What it asks is simple: bring your own mind, and observe honestly. Vipassana doesn't care what you call yourself. Your background, beliefs, or culture don't matter, because suffering is universal. And so is the path to end it. Like a clear mirror, Vipassana reflects what's happening inside you. It doesn't tell you what to think or how to live. It helps you see for yourself the real purpose. Inner freedom. There are countless ways to improve your life, through education, achievements, personal growth. But only one thing truly sets you free: understanding yourself deeply. Vipassana doesn't promise quick relief. It won't distract you from your pain. Instead, it teaches you to sit with it, until it loses its grip. This is not a freedom anyone can give you. It's not a comfort that can be bought or borrowed. It's a deep peace that arises from within, when you realize you no longer need to run. Over 500 years have passed since the Buddha offered this path to the world. And still, among all the noise and the countless teachings out there, Vipassana remains, quietly, steadily, a light for those who are ready to meet themselves with courage. No promises. No shortcuts. Just a mirror, held up gently, so that you may finally see clearly. And in that seeing, be free. How to begin: the fundamentals of practicing Vipassana. The beauty of Vipassana lies in its simplicity. You don't need to belong to any tradition, own special equipment, or retreat into a monastery. All you need is your body, your breath, your awareness, and the willingness to be honest with your experience, moment by moment. Below are the foundational steps that guide you into the practice, just as they've been taught for over 2,500 years. 1. The posture, finding stillness in the body. Before we begin observing the mind, we must ground ourselves in the body. Your posture is not about rigid formality, it's about creating a stable, alert, and relaxed base from which awareness can arise. You can sit in full lotus, half lotus, cross-legged on the floor, or upright in a chair. What matters most is this: keep your spine naturally straight, allowing energy to flow freely. Let your shoulders relax. Place your hands gently in your lap or on your knees. Keep your head balanced, eyes closed or softly lowered. Allow your whole body to become still, but not tense. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is to be at ease in stillness, so the body fades gently into the background, and the mind can begin to turn inward. In this silence, in this stillness, you are preparing the ground for true insight to arise. 2. Observing the breath, Anapana, preparing the mind. Before diving into the deeper waters of Vipassana, we begin with a simple but powerful practice: observing the natural breath. This is known as Anapana, a preparatory step that helps calm the mind and sharpen your concentration. You don't need to manipulate the breath. You're not doing breath work. You're simply watching the breath as it is, natural, effortless, flowing in and out of the nostrils. Focus your attention at the area just beneath the nose and above the upper lip. This is where the breath makes contact, subtle, rhythmic, ever-present. Notice. Is the breath cool as it enters? Is it warm as it leaves? Is it shallow or deep? Does it change with your emotions or thoughts? You don't need to analyze, just observe. Let the breath become your anchor. Thoughts will come. That's normal. When you notice your mind has wandered, gently guide it back to the breath, over and over. This is how mental clarity begins, not through force, but through repetition and kindness. With consistent practice, your mind becomes steadier, more awake, more sensitive. And when it reaches a certain sharpness, you're ready to begin Vipassana. 3. Observing sensations in the body. The heart of Vipassana. Now that the mind is calm and focused, we begin the true work of insight, observing the sensations throughout the body. This is the essence of Vipassana. Start at the top of the head, and gradually sweep your awareness downward, scanning every inch of the body, from crown to forehead, eyes to jaw, neck to shoulders, arms, chest, back, abdomen, legs. All the way to the tips of the toes. As you scan, observe whatever sensations arise. Tingling. Warmth. Itchiness. Heaviness. Lightness. Pressure. Pain. Or perhaps, nothing at all. You're not trying to create or remove sensations. You're simply being present with what is already there, without judgment, without interference. This is where real transformation happens. We train ourselves to observe without reacting. If there's pain, we don't resist. If there's pleasure, we don't cling. We just notice, this is here now. And it will pass. Because it always passes. Every sensation, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, is impermanent. Rising, falling, disappearing. By observing this truth in your own body, not as an idea, but as a direct experience, you begin to uproot the patterns of craving and aversion that fuel suffering. This is how Vipassana purifies the mind, not by suppressing emotion, but by seeing reality as it truly is, moment by moment. Why this matters? Most of us spend our lives reacting to everything we feel. We chase pleasure. We avoid discomfort. And in that constant push and pull, we become exhausted, never truly free. Vipassana shows us a new way. It teaches us to sit with experience just as it is, without needing to fix or change anything. And from this stillness arises an understanding: we are not our thoughts, not our pain, not even our sensations. We are the awareness behind them, calm, spacious, and free. Important reminders as you practice. Be patient. Some days will be smooth, others challenging. That's okay. Keep returning to the breath, to the body, to this moment. Be gentle. Vipassana is not a practice of force. It's a practice of deep inner listening. Be consistent. Even a few minutes each day builds the foundation for lasting change. Let go of expectations. You're not meditating to become someone else. You're meditating to know yourself more honestly. It begins with a single breath. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to understand everything. All you need to do is begin, by sitting down, closing your eyes, and taking a single breath with full awareness. From there, the journey unfolds, not on the pages of a book, but within your own body and mind. That is the path of Vipassana. Silent. Simple. Profound. And it all starts, now. Observing without judgment. The wisdom of equanimity. At the heart of Vipassana practice lies one of its most transformative teachings. Observe everything, but react to nothing. It may sound simple, but in reality, this is one of the deepest and most powerful shifts we can make in our inner life. We've been trained since birth to label everything we experience. This is good. This is bad. I want more of this. I want to avoid that. I love this. I hate that. This automatic judging happens all day, every day, without us even noticing. And every time we cling to something pleasant, or resist something unpleasant, we feed a cycle of craving and aversion that ultimately leads to suffering. Vipassana invites us to step out of this cycle. How? By learning to observe each moment, each thought, sensation, emotion, as it is, without calling it good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant, right or wrong. Not liking. Not disliking, just seeing clearly. When you sit in meditation, you'll feel all kinds of things. Maybe a sharp pain in your back. A wave of sadness in your chest. A pleasant tingling in your hands. A sense of restlessness in the legs. The instinct is to say, this is uncomfortable, I don't want it, or, this feels good, I hope it stays. But Vipassana teaches us another response. Don't push it away. Don't cling to it. Just observe. Let it be. Let it pass. This is called equanimity, a calm and balanced mind that doesn't get swept away by liking or disliking. It doesn't mean becoming cold or emotionless. It means remaining open and centered, no matter what arises. Mindfulness and continuity. The real work of the practice. This equanimity isn't something we force. It's something that naturally develops through mindfulness and continuity. Mindfulness means being present. Fully. Not lost in the past. Not fantasizing about the future. Just here, awake to the sensations in your body, the movement of breath, the passing flow of thoughts. But momentary mindfulness isn't enough. We need continuity, the kind of steady attention that flows from one moment to the next like a gentle stream. Noticing the breath, then the sensation, then the thought. Not clinging. Not resisting, just being with whatever is here. This kind of sustained awareness begins to reveal the deeper truth of our experience. Everything comes and goes. The truth of impermanence. As you practice, you'll start to notice something remarkable. No sensation lasts. No thought stays. No emotion is permanent. Everything changes. The pain in your knee, it appears, grows stronger, then fades away. The pleasant warmth in your hands, it lingers for a while, then disappears. The feeling of joy, it arises out of nowhere. Stays briefly, then dissolves. And you realize, I didn't make any of this happen. It's just nature unfolding. This direct observation of impermanence is at the core of Vipassana. You don't have to believe in it. You don't have to chant it. You see it, feel it, in your own body, over and over again. And with this realization, something profound begins to shift inside you. Freedom through understanding. Most of our suffering doesn't come from what we feel, it comes from our resistance to what we feel. We grasp what's pleasant. We push away what's painful. And in doing so, we trap ourselves in a never-ending struggle. But when we truly understand that everything is impermanent, every sensation, every thought, every emotion, we begin to let go. Let go of control. Let go of resistance. Let go of needing things to be different than they are. And in that letting go, we discover a deep inner freedom. A stillness that isn't shaken by pleasure or pain. A peace that doesn't depend on external conditions. That is the gift of Vipassana. Not escape. Not numbness. But clarity. Acceptance. Liberation. Practice example, how to observe with equanimity. Here's how this might look in practice. You're meditating, and you feel a sharp pain in your knee. Notice it. Bring your full attention to the pain. Where exactly is it? What kind of sensation is it? Throbbing, burning, tight? Stay with it. Don't flinch. Don't move right away. Just observe the raw experience. Don't label it. Don't call it bad or wrong. Just, this is a sensation. It's here. Watch it change. Stay long enough, and you'll notice, it shifts. Maybe it dulls. Maybe it sharpens. Maybe it disappears. Remain calm. Whether it gets better or worse, just keep watching. Do the same with joy, with boredom, with irritation. Everything that arises is a teacher. A mind like the sky. The goal is not to stop thoughts or control feelings. The goal is to become like the sky, vast, open, spacious. Thoughts are like clouds. Sensations are like weather patterns. They come. They go. But the sky remains. Your awareness, too, can become like that, unmoved, undisturbed. Holding everything, clinging to nothing. What you practice, you become. If you practice reacting, you become reactive. If you practice clinging, you become attached. If you practice avoiding, you become afraid. But if you practice awareness, if you practice equanimity, if you practice letting go, you become free. The hidden gifts of stillness, how inner silence transforms your life. In today's world, silence is rare. Between the noise of traffic, notifications, endless to-do lists, and our own racing thoughts, true stillness can feel impossible to find. But within this silence, when we actually sit with it, breathe with it, listen to it, something powerful begins to unfold. Meditation isn't just a practice. It's a return to yourself, to clarity, to peace. When we commit to the journey of meditation, particularly practices like Vipassana, we begin to discover surprising changes, not just on the cushion, but in every part of our lives. Let's explore how this inner silence brings about real, lasting transformation. 1. Less stress, more ease. The first, and often most noticeable, benefit of meditation is the reduction of stress. When you sit quietly and observe your breath, your body begins to shift out of fight or flight mode. Your heart rate slows. Your nervous system calms down. Your breath becomes deeper, steadier. And most importantly, your mind stops spinning. You may still have thoughts, but they lose their grip. You learn to watch them without being pulled in. This shift changes how you handle challenges. You stop reacting to every irritation, every discomfort, every little thing that doesn't go your way. You pause. You breathe. You respond from a place of awareness, not reactivity. Over time, this creates a profound sense of ease. Even in the middle of a busy day, a painful conversation, or a moment of uncertainty, you carry a sense of calm with you. Not because life gets easier, but because you've learned to stop feeding the storm in your mind. 2. Sharper focus, deeper presence. Meditation isn't about zoning out, it's about tuning in. When you practice focusing your attention, on the breath, on bodily sensations, on the present moment, you're training your mind to become stronger, clearer, and more disciplined. Think of it like going to the gym, but for your attention. At first, your mind will wander. A lot. You'll think about dinner, about emails, about what someone said last week. But every time you gently bring your focus back, again and again, you're strengthening your ability to stay present. And that presence doesn't stay on the cushion. You'll start to notice it when you're having a conversation. You're actually there, listening, rather than waiting to speak. You'll feel it when you're working. You get more done, with more clarity. And fewer distractions. You'll even notice it when you're doing the most ordinary things, walking, eating, washing dishes, and suddenly, they don't feel ordinary at all. They feel vivid, full of life. Because you're fully awake to them. 3. Better sleep, naturally. We often think of sleep as just a physical need, but much of our insomnia, restlessness, or shallow sleep comes from a mind that won't stop moving. We go to bed with 1,000 tabs open in our head, worries, plans, regrets, and expect to just shut down and fall asleep. But the mind doesn't work that way. When you meditate, especially in the evenings, you give your mind a chance to wind down. You clear the mental clutter. You slow your breath. You release the day. And this sends a powerful signal to your nervous system. It's safe to rest now. Over time, meditators often find that they fall asleep more easily, sleep more deeply, and wake up feeling more refreshed, without needing anything outside themselves. It's not a trick. It's a natural result of creating inner peace. 4. Understanding your emotions. Not running from them. Many people think meditation means pushing emotions away or trying to be peaceful all the time. But the truth is, Vipassana teaches us to turn toward our emotions, not away from them. When you sit in silence, feelings will come up. Maybe anger. Maybe sadness. Maybe anxiety that you didn't even know was there. Instead of judging it, suppressing it, or getting caught up in it. Vipassana teaches you to observe it, to feel it fully, to breathe through it, to let it rise, and let it pass. You begin to see that you are not your anger. You are not your fear. You are not even your joy. These are temporary waves. You are the ocean beneath them. This simple shift changes everything. You stop being controlled by your emotions. You stop being afraid of what you feel. And you start living with more emotional intelligence, able to respond with wisdom instead of impulse. 5. Wisdom arises from inner silence. Perhaps the most beautiful fruit of this practice is not just peace, but insight. When the mind quiets, something deeper wakes up. You begin to see the nature of your thoughts, habits, and desires. You notice how you react, how you cling, how you avoid. And little by little, a new kind of wisdom takes root. This isn't book knowledge. It's not something someone tells you. It's the kind of wisdom that emerges from your own direct experience, from watching yourself with clarity and compassion. You understand yourself better. You understand others better. You begin to see how everything is interconnected, impermanent, and unfolding just as it is. And from that understanding comes a natural kindness, a natural simplicity, a natural letting go. The real transformation happens quietly. You may not notice it right away. There may be no fireworks, no big revelations, no overnight miracles. But one day, someone cuts you off in traffic, and you don't get angry. You feel a strong emotion, and instead of reacting, you breathe. You sit alone, and instead of feeling lonely, you feel still and full. And you realize something has changed. You've changed. Not because you tried to be someone else, but because you learned to simply be. And that, truly, is the most powerful transformation of all. Peace is already within you. You don't need to travel across oceans. You don't need to climb mountains, read countless books, or wait for the perfect conditions to arrive. Because the peace you seek, the stillness, the clarity, the freedom, is not out there. It has always been within you. It's easy to forget that. We look for answers in the next achievement, the next distraction, the next relationship, the next escape. We think, maybe once I fix everything on the outside, then I'll feel calm inside. But the truth is the opposite. Inner peace doesn't come from controlling the world. It comes from learning to rest within it. It comes when you stop running, when you stop grasping, and simply allow yourself to be here. Fully. Gently. Awake. Silence isn't empty, it's full of life. In stillness, you discover that silence is not the absence of something. It's the presence of something deeper. It holds your breath. It holds your fears. It holds your joy. It holds the space for you to be completely human, and completely free. You begin to hear the quiet whisper beneath the noise of the mind. That whisper says, "You are enough. You are whole. You don't need to fix this moment. You just need to see it clearly." And that alone can be the start of a radical shift. Come home to yourself. This path is not about becoming someone else. It's about coming back to who you already are, before the conditioning, before the doubt, before the constant striving. It's a return to simplicity, to softness, to honesty. You'll still have emotions. You'll still face challenges. But your relationship with them will change. You'll hold yourself with more kindness. You'll move through life with more spaciousness. You'll stop trying to force the river, and begin to flow with it instead. This is the quiet revolution of mindfulness. Not dramatic, but deeply, beautifully real. Let the practice unfold gently. You don't have to do it perfectly. You don't have to meditate for hours a day or clear your mind completely. All it takes is one breath. One moment of noticing. One pause in the middle of your busy day to come back to the present. Start small. Stay consistent. And trust that the seed you're planting will grow in its own time. Even 5 minutes of true presence can begin to shift your entire day. Even one deep breath can reconnect you to something larger, more spacious, more free. Your inner peace is your true refuge. In the chaos of the world, it's easy to feel lost or overwhelmed. But you carry within you a refuge that no one can take away. A space untouched by opinions, by circumstances, by time. A quiet, steady awareness that has always been there, waiting for you to return. Every time you choose to pause, to breathe, to observe without judgment, you step back into that sacred space. And over time, it becomes easier to find. Not because the world gets quieter, but because you've learned to listen beyond the noise. A gentle invitation. If this video has brought you even a moment of stillness, a breath of peace, or a reminder of something you'd forgotten, then let this be a gentle invitation. Like the video if it resonates with you. Comment below and share your reflections. Your journey might help someone else feel less alone. And if you'd like to continue walking this path together, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. This space is here for you. To pause. To reflect. To breathe. And to remember. You don't need to chase peace. Just be still long enough. And you'll realize, it's been here all along.